Oh, dinky do me hearties. A very good evening to you. It is me, Scottie McClue, and we are, of course, live on YouTube just for you. Live streaming 2 hours of superb, scintillating information, education, and entertainment for not just one nation, but for all the nations of the world. Welcome, 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 wherever you be. I hope you can see me, Scottie McClue, First Lord of the Internet, the world's top broadcaster, and of course the world's most humble man. This is the world's top talk show. This is where we talk non-stop about all sorts of things. We talk about everything. So there you are. The first thing you do when coming on, of course, is like the stream. That's the one. There's J-Dog, a dinky doo. Scottie, how are you? Better for seeing you, J-Dog. Excellent to know that you are there. And a very, very warm welcome. Are you dashing off for din-dins tonight? Happy Father's Day. And to you, happy Father's Day, J-Dog. A very happy Father's Day to everybody from me, Scottie McClue, on behalf of you to the rest of the world. Fathers everywhere. And if you want to put on a wee comment about your father, very polite, of course, or perhaps if they're no longer with us earth-side, you'd like to say something about them, please feel free to do that. I think that would be a nice way to use our stream tonight. Evening, Scottie, says the wonderful John Jones. Good evening, John. Lovely to have you with us, and welcome, welcome, welcome to Scottie McClue's live stream on YouTube. Evening all, evening to you, Scottie McClue. The wonderful Jerry Nicol has joined us. Excellent, Jerry. Good to hear from you. I always admire your vast knowledge of the Scottish entertainment industry. So there we are. So you obviously have an interest in that. More lights, please. I'll be popping off for dinner soon, Scottie, but not right now. Good J-Dog, stay with us if you can. I always say to people, don't just sample and stay. Don't just sample and stay. That's what I say. That's what I always say. Don't just dip in and out. But of course, if people have to pop off, maybe a meal or something, then why not? Very important. There we are. But try and not miss a moment of Scottie McClue every day. You miss a moment of Scottie McClue, you miss a moment of life. Nemesis has joined us. Dinky do Nemesis. I found out why some of you get a bit shot if you don't know what's happening, because you put up your bits on Super Chat, and then what happens is it takes a while. So you go, oh, you're ignoring me, are you? Oh, not reading out my message, always there, but it just takes a little bit of time. So when you've put your message up, just give it a chance to filter through the system. Wonderful James Hasty has joined us. Good evening, Scottie. Good evening, James. I hope you're well tonight. Lovely to have you with us, and dinky-doo, as we say. Did you enjoy your birthday, Scottie? J-Dog, I enjoyed every second of it. The whole 24 hours, but I loved popping up for 2 hours. People say, surely you're not going to pop up on your birthday. And it was lovely to share with all you guys, to share it live on YouTube. Dinky-doo, I say. That's the way to do it. Excellent stuff. Zach's joined us. Hey up, Scottie, mate. Hello, Zach. Lovely to have you with us, and dinky-doo. Welcome, 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 I say. Has everybody liked? Has everybody subscribed? Shared? All these things? Can you look down to the bottom left of the picture you're watching and give me a thumbs up? Apparently it's as plain as the nose on your face. You can't miss it. Starters for 10. What was the program, says Jerry Nicol. Well, Jerry, we haven't seen your first bit yet, so let's go back and see what you are talking about here. No question, Jerry. Have we got one? No, evening all, and to you, Scottie, that's all we've got from you. So nothing yet, Jerry. So starters for 10. What was the program? Right, so we could play what was the program, but you'll have to give us a clue, Jerry. Did Mrs. McClue cook anything nice for you? Tell her I said hi. Oh, Glenn, beautiful, beautiful cooking on a Sunday. Outstanding. 2 seconds. Darling, Glenn says hi from Sheffield. He's now in the Midlands, but he's in Sheffield with his mother. Yes, that's the same one, yes. Very nice chap. That's it. Yes, she says yes and hi. Dinky do. So there we are. Hello, Scottie. How are you? Hello, everyone. Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day, Kareem. I was just saying before you popped on, I think if somebody would like to mention their father, bit croaky tonight for some reason. I'll have a sup of the Earl Grey. Oh, that's lovely. If people would like to come on and mention their father, they can do. And even if the father is no longer earthside, then they can do. So there we are. Hello, Scottie. Excellent stuff. Do you watch Doctor Who, Scottie? If so, who's your favourite Doctor? Loved David Tennant. Loved, who was the one with the beautiful, rich voice? Tom Baker. Loved Tom Baker. Loved the first one, William Hartnell. Grew up watching William Hartnell. There we are. Loved Peter Davison. Very, very good as well. Sorry, friend. Now Bernie the Bolt. Right, well, I know that one, Jerry, but shall I tell them or will we leave it? Right, guys, Jerry's asked tonight's first television question. What was the program that featured Bernie the Bolt? Can I have about 10 likes right now, please? Some of you naughty, naughty people have not liked the stream. Tut, tut, tutty, tut, 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 tut. Is it you? I ask. My favourite Doctor has to be David Tennant. Oh, wonderful J-Dog. Absolutely. Very, very good Doctor. Evening, Scottie, from the peaks and the troughs. Although we absolutely loved Peter Capaldi. Oh, another cracker. The Archie says it's the golden shot. Conky Wonky says it's the golden shot. The film, what you asked the other day, was the quote where it was, Yahoo! Correct me if I'm wrong. Yes, a little boy was celebrating something and he went, Yahoo! And there his father said, oh, don't worry, the neighbours are deaf anyway. They won't hear us. Good evening, Lord McClue, dinky do, says the wonderful Archie. Had a few whiskies to sack. Have you, sack? Don't worry, though, as long as you can hear us and see us, you're doing okay. But well done. So there we are. Bob Monkhouse says the Watery Leaf. Yes, he presented it. Wonderful presenter, great comedian. Very, very funny. Almost a bit too quick fire for me. But wonderful comedian. Great presenter as well. That program really struggled when they thought they could do without him. Scottie, I went to Cramond Island with my colleague. This arrogant young woman kicked my dog on her bike. Well tried, too. Edinburgh mentality, maybe. She got Glasgow patter back at her. Good. Nobody should ever touch anyone's dog. So there we are. Wonderful stuff. Absolutely. Good for you, Kareem. A little bit of you gave her a wee bit of vernacular. The vernacular. That's the stuff. Dinky do. If you just joined us, a warm welcome. Lots of thumbs up, please. I'm going to start the sharing. Right, I've just posted onto YouTube, of course, just to let everyone know what is what. So all is well there. I'll get the old channel up. There we are. Excellent stuff. Just see what's going on here. But apart from that, I take it she missed the dog and all was well. And you had a nice day, Kareem? There we are. Everybody welcoming Kareem, liked and shared, says the wonderful Kareem. Thanks, Kareem. Very, very much appreciated. Very, very good of you. What a great stream tonight already. We've just started and everybody's coming and joining us. This is what we want. Very important. I need to get the subscribers up, guys, so any little ruses you can think of to get all of your followers to subscribe, that would be fantastic. So any little ruses you can think of to get all of your followers to subscribe, that would I don't need to do the show here. This guy's doing it. Fantastic. There we are, listening to myself. And on it goes, it's incredible. You missed today's clip, Kareem, says the Watery Leaf. Watery Leaf, will you stop it? I'm going to give you a lifetime ban. So there you are. You're the only one on here that's not with us. Remember, if you're not with us, you're against us. So there we are. That water leaf wind up. I'm going to call you the water of Leith. You know, because you're running like a bum there. Fantastic. Do a live phone in with a different topic each night, like the old days, says Conky Wonky. I know, Conky Wonky. The only trouble is I've only got one line, so I can't go to somebody else. I'm on the Skype, and I have to have trusted people, because otherwise you can't know that their language won't be outrageous. And we can't have that. We are a family show. Anybody young and old is watching. Apart from that, silly woman, it was a lovely day with sun and rain. Hopefully a good start to the summer holidays. Now, I made it tonight. Watery Leaf, they are good for you, Kareem. You stand up to him. There we are, Watery Leaf. I don't know. Can I have a shout-out, says Ambi Magic? Of course you can, Ambi Magic. You can have a shout-out, no problem at all. It'll be about a minute till you hear it. So there we are. There we are. Conky Wonky says, I too many, and he mentions a name. We're not saying that. Conky Wonky. So there we go. Excellent stuff. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you've just joined us, you're watching Scottie McClue. We are live streaming live on YouTube just for you at Scottie McClue's YouTube channel, youtube.com/user/Scottie McClue 1. As you know, if you're already on it, 10 likes now. 10 likes. Can I have 10 likes, please? There we are. Obviously, everybody hasn't liked. We've had lots and lots of people on tonight, and they haven't bothered to like. We must like the stream, guys, or what does it say? What kind of message does that send out? I ask you. So there we are. Was the dog on the bike or the arrogant lady, says Joe Montana. Welcome, Joe. Dinky Doo. Wonderful Betty McIver's just joined us. Excellent. Welcome, Betty. Dinky Doo. Watch Piers Morgan interviewing Warwick Davis. He could laugh at himself, doesn't mind being called dwarf or the little people, but not midget. No, no, no. You keep that for the MG. Wonderful car. There we are. Nice guy, Warwick. Enjoy that stuff. Do you watch stuff on TikTok, Scotty? I do, J-Dog. Yes, absolutely. I mean, let's be honest about it. Quite a bit I scroll through. But I love the dogs. I love the dog. The Labrador was my favorite. I share stuff. And he goes, the squirrel, it mocks me. It's going to come back tomorrow. I will now groom for 4 hours. I love all that, the wee Labradors. There we are. Do you watch stuff on TikTok? Yes, I do. Yes, sorry, I've just done that one. What am I at? Joe Low, my wee girl, and a great dog, says Kareem. What's your TikTok account, says Ambi Magic, at Scottie McClue. The little A, the ampersand, capital S, small c, OTTIE, capital M, small c, capital CLUE. Scottie McClue. At Scottie McClue on TikTok. Everybody get on there. There's some real wee gems on TikTok. You'd love it. I was stopped by the police. They asked if I had a police record. I said I did. It's called Walking on the Moon. Good one, the Archie. I was trying to emigrate to Australia, and when I got to customs, they said, do you have a criminal record? I said, I didn't think you needed one nowadays. Ambi, hi, everybody. So on to TikTok there, and watch What Is What. We have a wee TikTok on here. I could probably get the TikTok up here, actually, and we can have a look at that. But I'm going to maybe keep it for the Skype. There we are. Hi, says Ambi. Hi, Ambi. Dinky Doo, welcome to Scottie McClue. Guys, we need to share. You're distracting me here. I haven't got sharing. Wonderful. Now, I want to know how you're all coping with lockdown. Want to know your little stories, what you've been up to, a little bit of chit-chat. Always good. Always good. There we are. Just doing a bit of copy and paste. Copy and paste for the sharing. You can't beat sharing a bit of paste. Wonderful. Right, what do we got here? Jerry Nichols, Scotty, have you heard from Gordon and still waiting for my whoppers? Gordon went to the shops last night. We don't know if he's back. I hope he is. I really do hope he is. Fantastic. Right, there it goes. Okay, I've shared that on YouTube. So we're trending there. Fantastic stuff. And on to the Facebook. Good. Keep sharing, guys. Scottie, do you have a clip for later tonight? Jerry, he gave me my chippy. Fantastic. Of course I've got a clip for later tonight. Scottie, the seagulls have started swooping because they're nesting. Do you think we should start culling them? No, you never ever cull seabirds. Yes, otherwise you'll have bad luck. Read the rhyme of the ancient mariner. Was that not where they killed the albatross? And then they were becalmed. Water everywhere and not a drop to drink. Oh, more likes, please, guys. I need another 10 of them as quick as you like. See what I did there? Dinky do, Mr. McClue, says the wonderful Scott. Jenny Nichols, smiley. 2 smileys. Wonderful. If I do that, it pops up. My hand pops up, doesn't it? Good evening, Scottie. I hope there's no birthday hangover. No, Robert Scrimger, because I don't drink alcohol. So, you see? So, no alcohol, no hangover. Woo! How good is that? Quick comfort break there. Quick mop doon. Wonderful. Now, what have we got here? We're just going to do a bit of sharing action. As I say, if you can all do the same, that would just be bliss. That would be absolute bliss. I'll share with the big Scottie McClue page. Just let everybody know that we are there. This is what the Wizard of the Big Switchboard would go. John Jones, you've been tapping the dollar bill and you've sent £2. You naughty boy. He's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy indeed. So there we are. Very kind of you. Thank you, John Jones. Appreciated. You're very naughty. Sharing is caring, says Scott. Oh, sharing is caring. And we need to share this stream. It's been a long time, Scottie, since you've given us a wee tune. Ah, yes, we need to give you a wee tune. And a Sunday night, of course, we might get a wee Ride On in Majesty or something like that. Yes, give you a wee tune on the organ. Wonderful. We'll fire up the pipe organ. Now, have I got that? Right. That's off to Scottie McClue. We've told 10 to tell 10. More likes, please. There we are. We'll try and get you a tune, J-Dog. Excellent. Do we like a tune? Now, guys, the stream is growing nicely. Thank you. I'll tell you what's up is the watching time. So a lot of people watching to see what's going on. And remember, we're a bit of a team on here. So it might be quite a lot for somebody joining us to think, oh, maybe it's a group, an in thing. Maybe I shouldn't join. No. Everybody joins throughout the world. We are the most inclusive stream in the world. So there are dinky do, Scottie, says the wonderful Robster Mary. Dinky do to you, Robster. Lovely to have you with us. Now, lots of interesting stuff to talk about tonight. And I hope our friend in Canada will join us and our friend in India will join us. That would be excellent. Wonderful. I like the fact that we're sitting here and we can be watched in India, Canada, America. It's just everybody doesn't know about it yet. And they must do. They must be told. So all your contacts, please share the fact that Scottie McClue's on live at 8 o'clock every night. During lockdown, we are the go-to place for lockdown chat. We're the world's top talk show. Glenn's asking, is your Skype on, Scottie? It is, Glenn. Are you going to Skype me, I ask you? Please feel free to do so. So there we are. And we can have a wee chit-chat. That would be excellent. So there we go. Have I posted this yet? Not yet. Right. It's a group. Scottie McClue group for fans, discussion, and debate. It's a Facebook group. It's Scottie McClue group for fans. So get on to that. I might change the title to Scottie McClue. Well, it is now Scottie McClue fan group. That's fair enough, isn't it? We don't mind that. And we'll get that going out there. Robster's one of my very good friends, a very top young man like myself. Oh, I would think so. Can I Skype you soon, says Scott. So there we are. Well, Scott, I don't think, you're not on the trusted list, are you? So there you are. How many are you doing in lockdown, Scotty? How are you doing in lockdown? Yes, I thought you meant how many shows had we done. This is number 26 tonight. It seems like seconds since we started. More likes, please, guys. We need more likes. Tell 10 to tell 10. So there we are. Excellent stuff. Share it on Twitter. I'm just going to post on Reddit. If anybody's on Reddit, Scottie_McClue is Reddit. So there we are. Yeah, Reddit. Got a new book for you, Reddit. There we are. Excellent. That's gone up. Good. I'll just pop in. It says, what are your thoughts? There we go. Lovely, lovely. Right. That's gone up there, so anybody can see that. If you're on Reddit, Scottie_McClue, get yourselves on there, dinky-doo. We'll do the Skype later. You can have too much of a good thing. We'll do the tweet later because somebody might Skype. That was what I meant to say. Kareem likes the story. I've been trying for months to get on the trusted list. Can we sort it tonight, please, says Scott. So there we are. Well, Scott, we can if you, can you be trusted? You have to tell me. Sorry, Scotty, got to dash for Dindin's lovely Chinese tonight. Au revoir, J-Dog Gaming. Enjoy the salt and pepper ribs. Wonderful stuff. And Dinky Doo, lovely to have you with us. I like the Chinese curry. Very nice. Take care, J-Dog. J-Dog is such a fine young man. And we're very privileged to have him with us. And of course, he shares with huge gaming audiences. There is a great game. Of course, you can trust me. So, Scott, did we not agree, Scott, that I knew who you were? That sort of thing. There we are. And I'd be surprised. That sort of idea. Oh, another sip of the Earl Grey. Fantastic. Now, guys, can you get sharing and sharing and sharing? This is not for the faint-hearted, I tell you. Oh, share on a page I manage. I'll share to the Scottie McClue page that goes like this. Scottie McClue, global radio and television producer. So there you are. It was before I started doing all the podcasts. Scotty, what happens in this if someone swears? Do you cancel the feed? Scrap the whole feed, Kareem, everything gone. Or we'll see how bad it is, you know what I mean? But we don't want it. We're grown up. I'm delivering curries tonight, says Scott. Psych, says Joe Montana, and a question mark. Psych. So Joe's asking about psych. What are you asking, Joe? Tell us more. Psych and a question mark doesn't really mean anything. What are you having for dinner tonight? Scotty says, Robster Mary. But the chicken soup tonight, the cream of chicken. Oh, I mean cream of chicken, I tell you. Hello, everyone, says the wonderful Gordon Robertson. Hello, Gordon, we're getting very worried if you'd come back from the shops. That was a scream last night. Welcome to Gordon Robertson, one of the finest men that walks the earth. So he tells me, Scott, are you delivering near Cadder, says Jerry Nicol. Jerry's wanting a curry. Crypt, 5-letter word with no vowels. Psych. Psych, and yet it's a vowel sound. Scott says, East Renfrewshire area. Scotty, a wee quiz for all here. Name a 5-letter word with no vowel, says the Archie. What about psych? There, were you impressed with what I just did there? P-S-Y-C-H. Gordon, did you get the goodies? Come on, Gordon, spill. Just gonna have a quick mop down, guys. Woo-hoo. Bit warm tonight. Whoa. Mind you, my own fault for popping jumper because it was a bit cold earlier. Gordon, did you get the goodies? Jerry's saying. We love this. So there we go. Right, I'm just going to share that. Scottie McClue, live the new. And everybody can come and join us. Did you know race car is race car backwards? Yes, it is. Somebody was once talking about sending them a code word. And I said, I'll send you maps backwards. And they said, no, don't do that. I said, why not? He said, because that would be spam. Oh, see what I just did there? Fantastic. I once put into my search engine Firelighters, and I got 100,000 matches. Scottie, Germany corona has went sky high again. Alarming figures coming out. This will be England's fate, and it will be passed on to us. Gordon, thanks for the chippy. So there you are. Yes, corona's high again in Germany. Yes, very, very high in Florida. There are these pockets shooting up, and the idiots that go, forget all that now. You know, they're the ones that are going to cause all the problems. And remember, it's not just yourself, it's all the people you infect. Says you're offline, Scottie, on Skype. Tried to call you. Don't be silly, Glenn. We are never offline. Let's see. Are we offline? Oh, wait a minute. We're offline. Right. I don't know what. I must have touched something. Sorry, Glenn. So there we are. We'll see if we can pop it on again for you. There we are. Right. What's that coming up? It's telling me to ask Alexa for advice. Are you kidding me? So why is Skype not coming up? No, it's not working tonight, actually. It's gone off itself. So there we are. It comes up and then just disappears again. No, we've got a wee problem with Skype. I do apologize. So there we go. Kareem, I think you're the only one who's got what they ordered. It's been a nightmare because I lost my list. What 5-letter word is 4 vowels and 1 consonant? Watery Leaf he's thrown down the gauntlet, guys. He wants to remain part of the chat. He's obviously a little penitent for his carry on, slagging off the Waverley. Scottie, I'm off to walk my Jack. See you soon. Jerry Nickel, don't go out on your Jack now. Take the dog with you. Excellent stuff. Wonderful. Have a lovely walk. The wee Jack Russell Terrier. I've 2 portions of cold mushy peas still sitting here. Excellent. Very good. 2 portions of frozen peas would have been good for 2 black eyes. But there we are. I remember you used to put that on. Why is it they put a steak? Is that right? Put a steak in a black eye. It sounds a bit strange. Crank Culfin has just joined us. Hello, Crank. Hello, Scottie. Hello, Crank. Do you think COVID will raise its ugly head again and cause a major lockdown? The Archie? I wouldn't be surprised. You know, I wouldn't be surprised. John Jones. Scottie, do you get confused? No, we're not going to that, I don't think. No, I don't get confused, John, no. Just had pigs in blankets, says Glenn. So there we are. Welcome, Dinky-Doo. Light, says Joe Montana. So there we are. Is this you doing 1 vowel and 4 consonants? Joe Montana's come up with light watery leaf. Is he spot on? Just the pigs and blankets, says Glenn. Excellent, Glenn. Very nice. I'll tell you what we've got up here. We've got beef olives. Has anybody ever heard beef olives? And what do they consist of? Staying in Calvin's side, it would only be fillet steak I'd put on a black eye. If you're staying in Calvin's side, Gordon, you wouldn't have a black eye. So there you are. What have you had for your dinner, Scottie? We were at the chicken soup. Chicken soup, very, very nice. And lovely potatoes. And lovely peas and leeks and green beans. I used to say with friends, you had a cat that loved green beans. When you had them on your plate, the cat would creep up on an empty chair. It was a great big table, an empty chair, and you wouldn't see the cat on the empty chair. And you'd be chatting away, and a tiny little furry paw would come up and search around and whip a green bean. Is it French toast or eggy bread? That's what I've had. Robert Scrimger, It depends where you're from, I think. The French would probably say eggy bread. And so what would that be? Le pain de oeuf. Le pain de oeuf. And then what would be French toast? So there we are. I don't know. What's French for toast? I'll have to try to remember. I stick my pinky out when I'm eating and imbibing. So I might accidentally poke my eye and blacken it. Gordon Robertson, you need to be writing. You probably are a writer. No, the 5-letter word has 4 vowels and 1 consonant. Light's wrong, says the watery leaf. Yes. No, 1 vowel. What are you talking about, watery leaf? Have you had a light refreshment? So there we go. Shall we put watery leaf into timeout? I had beef olives Friday night. Lovely. And it's something different. Now tell me about it. What are the beef olives, Kareem? What do they consist of? Am I right in thinking that's the spiced ham rolled round a sausage and cooked in the oven? There we are. Do you cook them in the oven or do you boil them up in the stew pot? Do tell. Everybody needs to spill. Right. What have we got here? More sharing, I say. If in doubt, share it out. Have you noticed that, we can do this? We don't have to have coronavirus discussed to any extent here because we're not at risk when we're watching Scottie McClue's live stream on YouTube, just for you. More likes, please, guys. Dinky do. Right, I'm just going to put this down now. I'll sort the chat out and see that everything's coming up in the chat because I've just had a thought. If I've got top chat, does that mean I'm only seeing the top chat? So I might be missing out on some people's chat. Am I correct in that assumption? The answer is Ouija, Scotty. It wasn't a trick question. Oh, all right, watery leaf. Keep what's left of your hair on. Hello, everyone, says the wonderful Grady Beckel from Nova Scotia in Canada. Welcome, Grady. Lovely to have you with us. Grady's here, folks. Sausage and fried mushroom. Says Crank. It's sausage and steak with gravy, and you fry it. So there we are. You fry beef olives. I'm sure. I'm sure you do beef olives in the oven. Right, we need advice. We need external advice, everybody. A wee beef olive. How does it get to what it is? That's what we need to chat. I'm just going to share this in one of the big groups, guys, so everybody knows we're on. Lovely. Right, I'll share with them and let them know what is happening. Good. Live on YouTube. There we are. Excellent. Right, bit of sharing, guys, as much as you can do. Scotty, my mum and dad made it for me, says Kareem. Aha. So do you know how it's made, or was there a wee bit of a secret there? Welcome, Grady. Lovely to have you with us. Speaking of coronavirus. Kidding, says Grady. No kidding. We don't kid about coronavirus. No. Serious stuff. 5-letter word. 4 vowels and 1 consonant. So like's wrong. Okay, so there we go. Excellent stuff. Right. Oh, let me sort out the chat. So we've got that. There we are. Gosh, busy on here tonight, guys. Right, I'll do a bit of chat with you. Thank you very much. John Jones, naughty boy, sent me £2. Thank you. Very, very kind man. Guys, I'm just going up to the top of the chat here. There's J-Dog Gaming. Oh, it's a wee bit slow. What have I done? There we are. Right. J-Dog Gaming was on first. So top chat becomes live chat. Now, does that mean there might be messages that I've not seen? There we are. Sausage and fried mushroom, sausage steak with gravy. The Archie says either fried, cooked in the oven, or boiled. Well, I seem to remember them being done in the big Pyrex dish in the oven with a bit of gravy, spiced ham wrapped around the sausage. Are we talking about the same thing? Thank you, good fellows, says Grady Beckle. Not at all, Grady. Lovely to have you with us. Scottie, what's your thoughts on the stabbings in Reading? Dreadful crank. Any violence at all? Shocking. This stabbing thing needs to stop because it just ends up, as somebody said, I think it was a policeman, it just ends up with one young person going to hospital and another young person going to prison. Or it sometimes ends up with one young person going to the cemetery and another young person going to prison. So there we are. So not good at all. And it happens. I saw more events of it over the weekend. So what have we got here? Grady says, would you do the clip with the working mother? There's been so many, Grady. I don't know which one you mean. Scottie, with regards to the scrimgers, we last carried the line rampant at King Edward VIII's coronation, Mr. Abdication, and we are common in Dundee. Scrimger, I'm sure there's a hyphenated Scrimger Wedderburn. So there we go. But it couldn't have been King Edward VIII's coronation because there wasn't one. So the last one would be before the Queen. It was her father's coronation in 1937. That would be George VI, 1937. Before that would be George V. His coronation would be, is it 1910 or 1911? It might have been 1911, George V's coronation. And before that was Edward VII's coronation, which had to be postponed because his doctor said to him, you're not fit to go to the coronation. And he said to the doctor, I will go to the coronation even if I die in the abbey. And the doctor said, that's exactly what will happen, sir. Doctor having to speak back to the king. And he realized he had acute appendicitis. And they had to do an appendectomy. And that was him. And of course, he was a big, fat, heavy guy. I think it was a short, fat, heavy guy, and they had to cut through all the fat to get to the appendix. And his coronation was postponed. And then it was later Edward VII, Queen Victoria's son, Queen Victoria's eldest son, and then he died in 1910. So he became king at 60, I think, and died at 70. Big cigar smoker, great womanizer, Edward VII. Towed Teddy, they called him, the racing king. Crank Coffin, this is when capital punishment must be introduced for certain cases. Amazing how far medicine has come, says Grady Beckle. Yes and no, Grady. Things like virology and epidemiology and microbiology. But allopathic medicine, I have doubts about the extent of its advance. Surgery, yes, keyhole surgery, fantastic. Lovely old friend of mine, and I went round, I think I was taking some flowers or a present round to him, and he answered the door himself. And he was supposed to have had the operation 3 days before. I said, how are you? He said, I'm wonderful when you think I've had half my gut out. And he came down the stairs and answered the door himself. Woo! Huge operation like that, my goodness me. It would have been George VI. Thanks, Scottie. Why didn't Edward VIII have a coronation? Did Mrs. Simpson not approve? No, he was never crowned king. He was the uncrowned king. He was proclaimed king. Because as you know, you have the king is dead, long live the king. So there's always a king. So the country is never without its monarch. On the death of a monarch, there's another monarch. So you have that. And so Edward VIII was proclaimed king, and he and Mrs. Simpson were watching the proclamation from behind one of the windows. I think the proclamation, would it be of St. James's Palace, the proclamation was made. So that's him proclaimed king. So he is the king, but he didn't take the oath because he wasn't crowned king. And then his brother was crowned king, and his brother, of course, had the stutter. He hadn't always had it. The poor soul was left-handed, and he was made to write with his right hand, and they tied his other hand behind his back. They put splints on his legs. So you see, all this nonsense that people talk about royalty have it so good. They don't. It's a very, very tough gig. That's why most of them are trained in the military. And the Queen's father was a naval officer, and he fought at Jutland in 1916, the Battle of Jutland. So there we are. The word is adieu, Ouija. So there we are, adieu, as in cheerio in French. Both 5 letters and 4 could, says Gordon Robertson, who's a wordsmith, a grammarian. He says he's a vulgarian. Scottish independence is at 54% just now. It should be higher. I think the danger is, I don't think they quite realise. I was watching Boris talking about maybe the Scots should be paying for things themselves. And I thought, well, look, fine, as long as we keep all of our income and scrap the Barnett formula. There you go now. So there we are. So we keep our income. So if that's what they want, Scotland will pay for its own stuff, but we will scrap subsidising the rest of the UK. That's what would happen there. Is that where King Edward cigars got the name? Yes, he was a big cigar smoker. So there you are, great big Havana cigar smoker and what have you. Scotty, at which time in history is your most favourite? All of it, Crank Cuffin. All of it. Although I think, what would I have done prior to Alexander Graham Bell, who taught at my old school, inventing the telephone, which was a little bit of an accident, the invention of the telephone, because Alexander Graham Bell, who was from Paisley in Scotland, his daughter, I think it was his daughter or a friend's daughter, was deaf, and he was trying to get some kind of radiophonic device that would enable her to hear. And that's when he came up with the telephone. Because if you think the old microphone, carbon and vibration, electronics, all that stuff. And then, of course, our friend, our lovely friend, Marconi, who invented broadcasting on the radio, on the airwaves. Radio broadcasting on the airwaves. I mean, what a fantastic thing. Now, that moment when Marconi discovered it, he didn't invent the airwaves, they've always been there. The same way that James Watt did not invent steam. We ones sometimes say that in an essay. James Watt, who invented steam, invented the steam engine. And because he was sitting in Greenock in the 1790s, and he saw the kettle lid lifting as it was boiling on the hob on the Swee. And that was, he thought, there's pressure there. And that's when he thought that energy could be harnessed. James Watt, wonderful, remarkable man. So there we are. Who were you saying had the major operation, Scotty? Sorry, I missed that. It was just a friend of mine, Glenn, who was actually a doctor. And he was in to get a lot of his bowel taken out. And of course, I thought they'd be opening him right up, but they did it through keyhole surgery. They made a small incision and they drew his intestine out and worked on it from there, and then obviously chopped a bit out, put the rest back in. And that was him. And he came down 3 days later. When I called at the house thinking his wife would come down, he came down and opened the door himself. And I said, how are you? And he said, I'm fine. When you think I've had half my gut out. You know, incredible. So when the Queen dies, Charles will be king straight away, absolutely on the second, Kareem. And it's the same when, you know, well, it's not the same, but when the Pope dies, there is a small ceremony to see that he's actually gone. And they will probably use a mirror to see if there's any breath. And then they tap him 3 times on the forehead with a little ivory hammer. Now, obviously, with modern medicine, they will know that he's gone. But this is them ensuring he has gone and is on his journey to God heavenward. What prize am I getting from Water Relief for winning the quiz? Says Gordon Robertson. You get to decide if we put Water Relief in timeout or not, if he cheeks up. Great to see you, boss. Hello, Gaft. Great to see you. Fantastic. Charles will never be king. The Archie, you can't say anything like that. People come out with daft nonsense like that, and it's just not true. So there you are. Just not true. He will be an older king, but, you know, people shouldn't say these things. You know, it's a kind of idea. So there you are. And, you know, I'm pretty sure Charles would make a wonderful, wonderful king when the time comes. So you are. So if his mum outlives her mother, she's 94. So say she does another 8 years, that would take us to 2008. She might do more, but if she does another 8 years, that would take us to 2008, which would be incredible. And that would make Charles 70. So there you are. So if the Queen lives as long as her mother, Charles will be 70. So he'd be becoming king at 70. But he seems a very fit man and a very nice man. There you are. Through the air, across the ocean for the first time ever. Grady Becko, yes. Now, did Marconi not type to, was it Nova Scotia? He was typing to the letter S in Morse. Was that not Marconi? He sent across to Canada. When Charles becomes king, they'll need to borrow the Stone of Destiny for the coronation. I say we should rent it out. Water Relief, yes, but remember, he's becoming the King of Scotland as well, because the crowns are united. So he's not actually borrowing it. It's part of the United Crown stuff. He's getting Scotland's crowning stool, if you like, crowning stone, the coronation stone. He's getting that because he's also the King of Scotland. The Rangers fans would be happy to see another King William. That is, if Prince William takes that name to be king. But he might not, as the last Edward was called David, yes, and the last George was called Albert. He was Bertie to his family, but you can choose from the names. Charles is Charles Philip Arthur George, if I remember rightly. I think I've got that right. So he could be King Philip the First. He could be King Arthur the Second. He could be King Charles the, what have we got? Charles the Third. That be right? Yes, Charles the Third. There we are. And Charles has got Stuart blood in him. So perhaps if he became Charles the Third, they might open the beer gates at the house in the Borders in Peeblesshire. The beer gates were closed and will not open until a Stuart king sits on the throne again. So what about that? There we are. Yes, indeed. Prince Charles would be Charles IV to a lot of Jacobite sympathisers. The Young Pretender was the third. No, the Young Pretender wasn't crowned king. So you see, he's the king across the water. Am I not correct? Are you ready for a Skyping? Scott, I'd love a Skyping. The problem is the Skype's not working. when I tap it, it comes up and then just dies off again. So we don't know what has happened there. No, it's refusing to behave. I'll have to maybe switch it off and on again. Gordon Robertson, Charles would be 78. Well, wait till we see. So if the Queen goes on to 2008, he was born in 48, so he would be 80. Sorry, 70. Is that right? No, he's 70 now. He would be 80. So there you are. He'd be 80, Gordon. So there we go. I think Prince Philip doesn't have long left. His health is bad. Oh, Kareem, let's hope he's got a bit. He's 99. Done a wonderful job. It was his 99th birthday a week or two ago. I believe so, says Grady. Absolutely, the letter S. My father, was a great man. The more I think back at it, but he was a very humble man. He never ever boasted of anything. And he was in all these theatres of war and dropped in as a paratrooper. And he was a radio operator, and he was great. He was great with the Morse code. Fantastic. And also a band leader, a pipe band man. King Arthur would be great. It would be great, yes. And we could bring back Excalibur, the sword. Woo! Whoa. Just giving myself a good mop down there. So there we go. What have we got? Charles is 70 now. And in 2028, he'd be 78. Now, he was born in 48, Gordon. So in 2008, he would be 80. Are you with me? Yes? So he must be 72 coming up in November, I think it is. So he'll be 72 in 2020. There we are. Try that one, Gordon Robertson. All right. Gordon Robertson's got me thinking I'm bananas, driving us all up the wall here, So there we go. Trying to put a wee element of doubt there. You're sowing a seed of doubt, Gordon. Do you think the House of Windsor is more related to the Stuarts or the Hanoverians? Well, Robert Scrimger, the House of Windsor, Charles himself has got a fantastic bloodline because he's definitely got Stuart blood in him. So there you are. There's no doubt about that. So there we are. And they brought the Hanoverians over. But remember, Sophia, the Electress of Hanover and stuff like that. So there's a lot of Scottish connections and what have you. So the Hanoverians, although they came over from Hanover in Germany, they're very much related to all the crowned heads of Europe. See, Prince Albert actually wanted an early EU, but led by the crowned heads. So he wanted all the thrones linked up and at peace. For such a young man, he was a very, very advanced thinker, and I think had Prince Albert lived, we would have seen a different setup and probably wouldn't have seen the First World War, because he could have lived on. Prince Albert, he was probably born about 1819, same as Victoria, 1820, can't remember, something like that. Say Prince Albert lived till he was 100, he would have lived till 1920, if he'd been as old as Prince Philip. Charles, 14th November 48, age 71 years. So 14th November 2020, age 72 years. And then 2008, aged 80. Correct? November 2008, Charles will be 80. Have we got that, Gordon? Whoa, your hard work. Dinky do, Scotty. Fortunately, because we're worldwide, we've enough people to help with the calculations. I think it'd win some of the mythology lovers' attention. I'm glad you have a good father to remember on Father's Day. Grady Beckel, yes, my father, wonderful man, and a great musician as well, and a wonderful engineer. Just check, Charles is actually 71 just now, thanks, Gordon, and he'll be 72 in November 2020, correct? So are we agreed? Are we singing from the same hymn sheet? I thought he was 70. I know, Gordon, we do think that. You think, gosh, he must be. Must be about 70. You know, we do that. You're quite right. I'm not giving you a hard time for it. I do it myself. Prince Albert hung around. Boom, boom. Prince Albert, very good. John Jones. Yes, Prince Albert, the chain, the Albert chain across your waistcoat. Hello, Scottie, I'm back, says the wonderful J-Dog Gaming. Welcome back, J-Dog. I hope you didn't rush your Chinese. No, plenty of time. Aye, okay, but I got 2 of Waterleaf's words and you didn't. Oh, sucks, boo. Nah, Gordon. All that stuff. Yes, there we are. Why does the royal family have to be so posh? It doesn't suit them. Waterleaf, nobody said the royal family are posh. They're just people. That's what I can't get across to the dafties. He really didn't look 70, I must say. I saw him in my kilt about 5 years back in my kilt, in a kilt. Scottie, it wasn't my fault, says Gordon Robertson. I got Charles' age wrong. Nobody told me he was 71. I know, Gordon, I should have said. My apologies. There we go. I guess that's because he was 66, says Grady. Yes, he was 66. If you go on to Scottie McClue's website, you'll see a picture of Prince Charles and I together. So there you are, www.scottie-mcclue.com. Get yourselves on there. That's the big one. 10 million people have been on that website. I guess that's because it's 66. Absolutely. There we go. Now we need to share. We need to get the figures up. Tell 10 to tell 10 to tell 10. Very important. More sharing. More sharing. You see, it's a job being royal, and it's a very, very intense job. And there'll be a lot of anxiety. The Queen is just superb. Name droppers, says Gordon Robertson. I'm just dropping Scottie McClue's website, Gordon. I know Scottie McClue is a name to drop, but people like that. But there you are. That's full on upper row. Ha-ha, says Grady Beckel. Absolutely, Grady. Yes, indeed. McClue can walk with kings and never lose the common touch. That's the stuff. That's what we like. So there we are. I mean, when I think about it, I won't drop names because Gordon will have to come and drop a few himself. But, you know, I think I've met so many so-called distinguished people, and I'm delighted for it. It's been a privilege. And, you know, but it doesn't make any difference to my life, if you see what I mean. Yes, my favourite poem, If. Yes, Rudyard Kipling. Now, here's a lovely one for you, Grady. I love Kipling, you know, but of course nowadays people, it's connected to imperialism and all that kind of stuff. Stop being historical revisionists. You won't change that. And of course, he stayed at Bateman's in East Sussex, near to, Burwash, Burwash, I think, little village in East Sussex. And that's where Kipling stayed, Bateman's. But what a lot of people don't realize is that Rudyard Kipling, who wrote the poem If, and Kim, and The Jungle Book, fantastic. Now, The Jungle Book, tremendous. And Kipling was actually the cousin of Stanley Baldwin, the Prime Minister, Lord Baldwin of Beaulieu. And he was the Prime Minister during the abdication. And he was so nervous when he went round to talk to Edward VIII that he said, may I have a whiskey and soda, sir? I said, yes, of course, Mr. Baldwin, help yourself. Two of them sitting there. Wow, says Grady. So there you go. Didn't Kipling make cakes? Archie, he made exceedingly good cakes, I can tell you. So there we are. My favourite poem and song is by Burns, A Man's a Man for All That. Can you recite it, Scottie? Yes, I can, but 'tis there for honest poverty. The verse, see yon belted knight, he's but a coof for all that. The man o' independent mind lives and laughs at all that. So there you are. So you see, what Burns is saying is the gowd is but the guinea stamp The gold is but the guinea stamp. No, sorry. What's the one is but the guinea stamp. The man's the gowd for all that. So what he's really saying, the rank. The rank is but the guinea stamp. The man's the gowd for all that. So when you're giving somebody their rank, yes, your grace, certainly, my lord, all that stuff. But the man is the gold. So what is the man like? So when people used to say to me at big functions, can you meet Sir so-and-so is the managing director of, I say, yeah, is he a nice guy? I mean, I don't know him. All that. Hello, Scottie. Says the wonderful Thomas Peden. Tam, you've decided to come back to us. I knew you'd run away to the football. Dear, terrible. You only have to mention there's a kickabout going on and Tam's off. And you took all your pals with you, but you're back. Welcome. Lovely to have you back. So there we are. We're just discussing. You'd be great at a bun supper, Scottie. I bet you've had a few in your time. Oh, bun suppers coming out my ears. Addresses to the haggis. Response to the lassies. Toast to the lassies. Scottie McClue. You don't have a bun supper without Scottie McClue. Have you seen the state of some of our beautiful parks have been left in with littering, Neds out bevying over the weekend? How do you get across to the thick Ned? Take a carrier bag and take your litter home. Who do you think's going to clean it up? Who arranged for all these parks for you in the first place? Otherwise we have to say we have to charge a Ned charge. If you don't take your litter, it's a £5. That would change their mind. So there, you must take your litter. And we need the parky. Where is the parky nowadays with a peak cap? Oi, get that litter cleared up right now. They've got them in London, in the London parks, out by the Serpentine and everything, because somebody told me if your dog decides to even thinks about a number 2, they come up and ask you if you've got your bags on you. So there we are. I was boozing last night, says Thomas Peden. You were boozing on Scottie McClue's birthday? Tut, tut, tutty, tut, 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 tam. Nice to have you with us, though. It's fine. I hope you enjoyed yourself. So there we are. Yes, we need a Ned charge for parks. Glen Peacock, Everton 0, Liverpool 0, full time. There we are. Well, if you're doing recitations, would you do if, says Grady? Yes, Grady, we can do that. Although I won't do them on just now till I check out all the copyrights. We're drinking till 5 a.m. this morning, says Thomas. Tut, tut, tuttity, tut, Thomas. And I bet you're thinking, is there any more left there? Are we having a drop more? And somebody said, damn, it's 5 o'clock. Right, I wasn't asking you for the time. All that carry on. Scots Way Hay is my favourite. Scots Way Hay where Wallace bled. Scott Wham Bruce has often led. Welcome to your gory bed or to victory. So there we are. Now's the day and now's the hour. See the proud something power. Da-da-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. Chains and slavery. Yes, all that. Bruce and Wallace. I think the original UK anthem, which is now God Save the Queen, was the old English anthem, which is the line which was racist to Scotland. Oh, with a might rush, rebellious stops to crush. Marshall Wade. Yes, but that's never been sung. There is a verse. There's actually many verses. I think there's 11 verses to that. And of course, it was written by Handel. So it is a German tune, but so much good music is German. If you think about it, I mean, well, Mozart was Austrian. He was from St. Wolfgang. And then you've got Beethoven, German. You've got Strauss, the Blue Danube. There you are, all these people. You've got Haydn. I love Haydn, the Clock Symphony. These are beautiful. Didn't even finish the last digit, says Grady. So there you are. So, Tony, you don't need to worry about that verse. Marshal Wade was General Wade. So there we are. And General Sir John Cope, the song Johnny Cope. Hey, Johnny Cope, are you walking yet? Are you awakened yet? I'll show you the art of war. Charlie, meet me if you dare. I'll show you the art of war if you'll meet Johnny Cope in the morning. General Sir John Cope. The Battle of Dunbar and Preston Pans, Pinkie House. Scottie, who gets your dram when you address the haggis? Whoever's beside me, Waterleaf. So if you were sitting beside me, I would just slide it along to you and you could nick it in your own time. Fantastic. Can I have a shout out for Stacey and Jimmy? They're holding Hans the night with the candles lit. Oh, Tam, you certainly can. Stacey and Jimmy. Oh, Stacey and Jimmy sitting in a tree, Kissing. Never tried the haggis, but if I tried it, how would I cook it? If I tried it also, what other food does it taste like? Well, a haggis, I believe you can give them a boiling, but I think you very often do them in the oven now, although we had a traditional one when I was wee and it exploded. It was just a bang, and it was all over the oven. Bits of sheep stomach and everything. Right, so that's that. But nowadays, they're very much in a plastic thing. You get vegetarian haggis if you don't fancy the heart and lungs. Stum and Drang, probably the originals of rock and roll. Yes, Grady, absolutely. I mean, think about it. The Blue Danube, Strauss waltzes, Richard Strauss's waltzes, they were the pop tunes of the day. Guys, can I have more likes, please? Like. And thank you very, very much to the wonderful John Jones, who has tapped the dollar bill. Very kind. Remember, you don't need to. Rebellious Scots to crush. There were many Scots fighting in that army to crush the Rossies, the Monroes, the Black Cockades. Yes, the Black Cockade and the White Cockade. He takes the field with White Cockade. So that sort of stuff. Now, the Corries were the ones that really did some wonderful things. I'm just wondering. No, I'll need to find out. I don't want to blow anything, but I'll need to find out because I'm just wondering if we can play stuff on the stream. We need to do a clip. What's the time? For goodness sake, we've been on over an hour. Seems like 2 minutes. Gera Haggis, Alistair Campbell, absolutely. Gera Haggis, oh, warm reeking, fair for your honest sonsie face, great chieftain of the puddin' race. I bring them all, ye tack your place. Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. Gera Haggis. Scottie, you know the person who I thought had a woman's name that began with Fee something? What's the name? Have they been on recently? Oh no, Fianna. Fianna is on right now. Yes, absolutely. No problem at all. Did you have a good Father's Day? And a lovely Father's Day, Tony, and thought about my lovely dad. And if somebody wants to post about their dad here, they can. So there we are. Excellent stuff. In fact, I'll start it. I'll post Big Archie. And if you want to post your father's name, then you can. Feel free to do so. There, I've just put it into Super Chat. The Scots were fighting themselves on that. When they talk about the English butchering the Scots, Culloden and the rest of the Scots were butchering each other as well. You know, I mean, clans fell out. That's why we were driven to the Union in 1707, because the nobles had done so much fighting, they'd lost all their money and they wanted more siller. So they sold out Scotland for silver, right? Because they wanted more money. They got a chest of siller for putting their names to the Act of Union. And they were known as the parcel of rogues in the nation. So these aristocrats were rogues at the time. They were rogue aristocrats. Robert, my clan were fighting with King Robert the Bruce. Hence, sons of Robert or Robertson. I know Robertsons in Perthshire who are the Robertsons. Wonderful. We were Clan Donaghy before being Robertson. Clan Donald. So you've got a wee museum, Gordon, up in Perthshire. The Clan Donaghy Museum. Fantastic. There we are. Big Archie there. I've put my father's name, and you can put that in. Tam says, I'm Fiona. So there you are. There's Tam on. You've changed your account, Tam. My dad's called David. Happy Father's Day to all. Excellent, Will Hughes. And bless David Hughes. Mad Dog Matt, a big man with a big head and a small heart, says, Grady Beckel, you're some man, Grady. We love you on here. Grady is in Nova Scotia in Canada. To my great dad, Alex, a great lorry driver and family man. Well done, Tony. Excellent stuff. Guys, pop your dad's name up. Dorian played a factor in the Union of 1707 as well, Scottie. Wouldn't you agree? Well, Dorian, still there were repercussions. I mean, that was a con, really, the Dorian scheme out in South America, wasn't it? Down at Panama, down there. Is that not where the Isthmus of Darien or Darien is? And people were just left out there. And your James Patterson, who came up with the Bank of Scotland. And of course, Scotland invented the Bank of England, who are the governor's bankers. So perhaps the Scots should be deciding how much money England gets. Kareem, my mother Swan is said to have died from a broken heart after her eggs were smashed by heartless yobs, and her mate disappeared in Bolton, Greater Manchester. Shocking behaviour, Scottie. It is, Kareem. But the children, you see, don't know. It's how they are brought up or not even brought up. They don't know. And the creatures, they don't understand them, so they want to harm them. And it's a very important thing. We've all had that, crushing insects or cruelty to an animal at some point. And it's just not understanding. That's the whole thing. Complete lack of understanding. And we really should have programs on television teaching children all about animals. I mean, how much greater a man could you ever have than Sir David Attenborough? How much greater a man could you ever have than that man? And as far as I understand it, he could have been the Director General of the BBC. He set up BBC Two. And he didn't want it. He wanted to work with nature. I love it. Does anybody remember the great Sir David Attenborough lying with his arm round the big silverback gorilla, going, I'm talking quietly because I don't want to upset him. How fabulous is that? And the Blue Planet. I mean, Sir David's well into his 80s, isn't he? Have you the chance to travel abroad with your broadcasting? And if you had the chance now to go live and do something like Scott FM, would you? Yes, John Jones, if Scott FM were to come up again, I'd be there in a heartbeat. And I said to a friend of mine, I said, do you think the audience would come back? And he went, instant. So there's no aging of Scottie McClue. It doesn't matter what age I am. I do what I do. I do the same thing. People complain about that. They go, I think you made a wee mistake, doing it too long. No, this is talk. We communicate. I've never said I was anything else other than an actor, a writer, a broadcaster, and a communicator. And nowadays we podcast. That's what we do. And it doesn't matter about coronavirus or anything because we're here doing it. Do you see what I mean? Fantastic stuff. Jack, says Susan Forrest. Who's Jack? Shout out to Fast Pat, says Tam Peden. Fast Pat. Where is Fast Pat tonight? More likes, please, guys, please. Thomas Peden says, Tam's getting everybody up here. Hope you're well, Scottie McClue, you McLegend, says the wonderful Will Hughes. Very well, Will. Lovely to have you with us. And Dinky Doo. There we are. Hello, Scottie. Fast Pat here. Now, Fast Pat was quick there. Welcome, Fast Pat. You are the fastest Pat on here tonight. We'll give you a pat for that. R.I.P. Dad. David, says the Archie. Good one, the Archie. Bless David, we say, and we thank him for fathering you. Tremendous stuff. Father's Day, guys. I've mentioned my father, Big Archie. If you want to do the same, please feel free so to do. Wonderful. Woo! Wonderful stuff. I thank you. Now then, Grady Beckle says, Dear Dad, I wish when you told me your belly button was an outie that I had the wits to tell you it was obesity. An outie. We don't know what an outie is. My dad called Kamal Zachariah. Happy Father's Day. What a lovely, lovely name, Kamal. There we are. Kareem, we celebrate your father. Absolutely. Remembering Mrs. Max, Dad Robert, sadly with us no more, brackets, close brackets. He was a World War II veteran in the Royal Navy. Yes, Tony, we remember him and we salute him. We salute Mrs. Max, father. Thank him for his service in the Navy. Great speaker. Planet Earth was awesome. Little heavy on the left-leaning human-caused climate change hypothesis. Yes, but much needed, I think, Grady. You know, I mean, you know, Sir David there's one of these giants of the planet who can move anywhere and go anywhere. Very, very clever man. You know, and he bought his books on wildlife and things like that, saved up and bought his books. Scottie, I thought swans are protected by the crown. They are, the Archie. Yes, the swans, Her Majesty's swans, beautiful, beautiful birds as well. Can you remember the parking attendant saying to me when I was walking past with the Labrador, he went, just watch your dog, sir. This guy doesn't take too kindly. And big Mr. Swan was there and he put himself out and he goes, Shah. And he had his lovely little grey signets and his missus around. Wonderful. I see them every year, the family, I call them. David Attenborough's the same age as Her Majesty the Queen. Is 94. Wow, Gordon, yes. I thought late 80s, but I remember, yes, 94. Fantastic. Magic or Hallam, Scottie? Oh, loved them both, Glenn. The medium wave in the summer had such massive reach. People used to phone from all sorts of places. Hallam FM, a wonderful FM radio station, and great for the phone-in. Sheffield, Barnsley, Doncaster, there we are, Chesterfield. I loved your chat with Bill McMurdo a few years back, Scottie. That's my nomination for tonight's clip. Right, I'll put it on. It might be a bit long, but so we might just hear a bit of it. I'll put Bill on. Scottie, how do you cook haggis, and also what other foods does it taste like if I tried it? Well, as I say, I think the oven probably, or a good boiling. You just want to make sure that everything is properly cooked. Do swans fly south for the winter, Scottie? Says the watery leaf. I don't know watery leaf. We'd have to ask somebody who's more of an ornithologist. Geese obviously do, so swans may well do. A swan in flight is a gorgeous thing to see. I can remember being on the bridge in Manchester, over the Manchester Canal. Now, what bridge was it? Barton. Is it Barton Bridge in Manchester? And I had to slew to a halt because there was a swan on the road. And there was a police car there. And I said to the policeman, can I help? And he said, well, not unless you can catch that swan for me. And he caught him, with his jacket, put him in the police car, and took him to the vets. So a swan walking across Barton Bridge, he seemed to be all right, but he obviously wanted to get him to sanctuary. Jack is my late father, says Susan. Of course, Susan. Yes, remembering Jack. Absolutely. Well done, love. Yes. Happy Father's Day, Melvin. R.I.P., says Glenn. Good, Glenn. Well done. A swan in flight, a.k.a. Concorde, says the Archie. What movie starts off? It's the same one that the wee boy goes, Yahoo! in. What movie starts with Concorde landing? All right. So there you go, guys. What movie starts with Concorde landing? I am Josh from Texas. Josh, dinky do and welcome from Texas. Lovely, lovely to have you with us on the stream. Tell everybody in America about us, Josh. We're new. This is only number 27. Yes, podcast 27. So we're only about 3 weeks old, and it's just lovely to have you with us, Josh. Tell everybody from Texas. Still, this puzzle stands, says Grady. Remind us, Grady, because people might not be checking back. Of course, Susan, yes, remembering Jack, absolutely. Going back to the Royals being stuck up. Well, she wasn't when she did Olympics with Daniel Craig. And, of course, Trump in Home Alone 2. The Queen is absolutely the antithesis of being stuck up. Yes, she speaks beautifully in a very cultured accent, but there's nothing stuck up about her. She loves horses. She trains dogs. You know, I mean, she was once out in a grouse moor, and she had a Labrador she was working with, and she sent the Labrador out in a pickup. That was a very difficult maneuver, and she was whistling, and the dog came back and handed her the game, and, you know, everybody applauded because it was such a clever piece of dog training. And she said, oh, my goodness, I don't think I'd have been able to do it if I knew you were all watching. You know, it's wonderful. Delightful lady. I can't stand people that go, oh, they're rich and they're taking off us and that. Virtually self-financing as well, the British monarchy. Scottie, what clip will you be playing? Well, we've had a request for the Bill McMurdo clip. One of the finest football agents. He was George Best's agent. So if we're going to do that one, I'll put it on just now, and then we can have a chat. Bill was my agent, and I interviewed him on the radio. And apparently it was a very, very popular piece. So there we are. Scottie McClue talks to Bill McMurdo. There we go. Right. Okay. Right. I'll have to plug in the stuff here. And there we are. So Bill was responsible for looking after George Best. So there we go. Fantastic. And of course, a very, very successful career George had. Now, if it's too loud or anything, let me know, guys. Just talk and do let me know. Right, here's Bill.
Listening to local radio for Scotland, local radio for Lanarkshire, and local radio for you. A very, very good morning to you. And of course, an excellent thing happening this morning. Yes, it's a Scottie McClue special McClue interview. And I have in the studio with me someone I can only really describe as a great man, a great Scot, and a great worldly wise gentleman. Now, he didn't know I was going to say any of this, of course, and there's no chance of swelling his head. I can tell you that right now. He's Scotland's top football agent and Europe's top football agent. I would say actually the world's top football agent, but you don't hear that from him. This is the interesting thing. I had to do my research and find that out. And of course, he's represented hundreds and hundreds of football players over the years. Also great personages in the shape of George Best and many, many others who he probably doesn't even tell us about, but people in the know will be in the know. So there we are. He's a man who's also never shied away from controversy or controversy in his life, and he's also a man who's brought great harmony in his life. He's a man who covers worlds of football, worlds of politics, and worlds of religion. These are things we don't talk about, of course, but this morning I think we'll give them a right good shake-out and find out what is what. He is Bill McMurdo. Good morning, Bill.
Hi, Scottie. How are you?
Very well, sir. Very nice to hear you. That's better. Can you hear yourself now?
I can indeed.
It is, and I can hear you as well. So that's great. You see, they've told me not to touch any of the switches, by the way. You know.
I can understand why.
We've got millions of pounds worth of the latest digital equipment, and they put an old fool in charge of it, you know. So there we are. Excellent stuff. Now, Bill, can we go back to the start, how this great journey began? Because, you're a lad of parts, as Rabbi Burns would say. You're a man of many parts. You're a man of great charm, and you're known in so many different circles throughout the world of football, the world of politics, the world of religion. So, there's just so much to get through and so little time to do it in. So can we go back to where it started? You're a Scotsman.
Yes.
And are you from the west of Scotland?
I'm actually from Edinburgh, and I would profess to be British rather than Scottish. I'm British first and Scottish second. Very, very proud to be a Scot. Even more proud to be British.
Yeah. So I mean, well, I'll get into the politics right away a little bit.
I thought that was apolitical, but
that was absolutely apolitical. But I think at the moment it is political in that it's a very, very hot topic. This whole Scottish-British thing. Yes. Let's start there then, since you've opened the bowling there with that one. At the moment, what do you think of all this that's happening with independence in Scotland? Are you a nationalist, or you're obviously a unionist, I would have said, really?
No, I'm a unionist, 100% unionist. Always have been. It frightens me to think that we could even consider independence. Obviously, I would go along with the majority. But I hope that if it comes, it's years and years down the road, because I don't think we're ready for it yet. I think the very fact that the banks collapsed in the last couple of weeks would indicate that we're far from ready for Scotland.
These are very old banking institutions, talking about 400 years, 500 years, things like that, and bang,
yes,
all gone. I wonder, though, just to what extent all this is. I mean, I can't believe that the world goes wrong in 24 hours.
No, I agree with you.
This has been coming for some time, and I'm also quite interested in the way that the present left-wing socialist government in this country have tried to shy clear of it. So, this is just how it's come down upon our heads. It's not as if we've been planning it for years and years. And I mean, I've actually watched Gordon Brown over the last 11 years draw up this. I mean, we could have told him this was coming.
Well, what about his famous cry, no more boomer bus times? Footing, and it's never been worse. I mean, in the last 60 years, absolutely atrocious. You have to blame Gordon Brown, he was the Chancellor, as you know. You have to blame Tony Blair, you have to blame Alistair Darling, and the whole Labour left was.
Do you think people would think more of these people if they actually stood up and said, well, look, we've tried our best to redistribute wealth.
Yes.
And we have brought the capitalist system to its knees. We're not too ashamed of that because we're socialists. We wanted to see if we could wreck the shop. And we think we may have done this. We think more of them if they stood up and said that and said, I think America's to blame for this.
Well, I think they should be honest, but they've never been honest all during the last 10, 11 years. I mean, Tony Blair told stories, lies about Iraq, his missus told stories to Parliament, different people, and the whole thing revolved around the fact that they've been telling lies from day one, and it's now having serious effects on the economy and serious effects on the British. I accept it's a global problem, but it's a global problem, but I think that we more than did our part to cause.
Was the problem. Well, as my granny would say, you can be a bit of a thief but not a liar.
That's it.
I was hearing the other day that Cherie Blair was saying that she reckoned that Tony was up there with Churchill.
Absolutely. What a thing to say. I mean, you're talking about night and day here. Chalk and cheese. There's absolutely no way that he could ever be compared with Churchill.
I mean, it was interesting when they said history will judge us.
Yes.
But I don't think history will remember them.
Well, hope not.
From that point of view, so there we are. But that's what's happening. That's apolitical, what we're saying here. I mean, I have to stress that. These are the facts of life.
Yes.
So there we are. So going back to, I'm not going to question your age because I don't know what age you are. You're something of a Peter Pan. I've got you. You're certainly into your 40s. I've got as far as that. But when I go back to the early days, you were, of course, very famous in London in the 60s.
Yes.
And to a certain extent, the Sixth Beatle.
Well, very, very kind of you to say so.
So I've got you now. So you must have just been in your early teens at the time. But
I was a laddie, as you say. I was just a laddie.
Now you've met absolutely everybody that one could hope to meet in show business. All the big names. We'll not drop all the big names, but you've met them all the top singers, all the top performers, interviewers, journalists, and of course you were George Best's agent.
Yes.
For a long time.
14 years.
14 years with George.
Yes.
Now, George was obviously a remarkable character.
He was a tremendous guy. He was a great footballer. But I remember rightly so for his footballing talent, but what a great person he was. He was just great fun. I travelled all over the world with him on numerous occasions, and it was just an experience, a tremendous experience. People say to me, well, you know, he had problems with drinking, yes, and I had a lot of problems with him, but for every bad time I had with him, I had 1,000 good times, so I can't complain.
Yes, I would imagine if somebody is drinking heavily, in any situation, then if you're close and you're managing them, you've also got to manage that particular situation.
Well, that's it. I mean, I was aware of it when I took him on board. He never tried to disguise the fact that he had problems with drinking. Over the years, we had great periods. At times he went 6 months without a drink, and then he went on the bevy for 6 months at a time. But no, great, absolutely great times. Very, very sad what happened to him. But he always said to me that if he lived till he was 40, he would do. And of course, he lived till he was 60.
He was a charming child.
Absolute charmer. Everyone that met him had a good word to say about him, and I think that's the mark of a good man.
Do you think that, the drinking, the addictive personality was more of a genetic inheritance or something rather than George himself? It wasn't the football that put him under that kind of pressure, really?
I think there was a bit of pressure there from the football, and the fact that he was actually started as the fifth Beatle. I mean, he was the first commercial footballer, if you like, and he transcended everything. Show business, movies, the whole bit. He always maintained his mum was an alcoholic. I think she died when she was about 46. And he used to say that he was of the opinion that it was part genetic. He thought that. But he did, on numerous occasions, trying to fight it. I mean, I used to go to Norway with him 2 and 3 times a year, and he used to get anti-abuse tablets implanted in his stomach, and they would work for maybe 2 or 3 months, and then if he decided that he wanted to drink again, he would just take them out.
He was also, he was, and I say this as a red-blooded male, he was a stunning-looking man, maybe like yourself. He's a stunning-looking man, and the women used to fall at his feet. I mean, my mother was a very proper lady, but she thought maybe he was a little bit with his hair and his beard at the time for 60s Britain.
Yes.
And he was a scruffy character, that best, and all the rest of it, but he was an outstanding sportsman and a stunning looking guy. I mean, the girls used to fall at his feet, George Best. And which teenage lassie did not have a picture of George Best in her bedroom?
Well, unbelievable. I mean, he tells a story that he went out with 3 Miss Worlds and never turned up for 3. But he was, in my opinion, he was one of the best Kent faces in Britain, if not Europe. Everywhere he travelled with him, all Japanese used to pile off the planes and all the rest of it in Dubai and places like that, and take photographs of him instantly, just recognise him straight away.
To what extent, Bill, was he going along with the Beatles, on the Beatles train just at that time? Because Britain had come through the war, there was austerity living and everything, and then along came these 4 bright young men who sang a totally different type of music, and then along came George, who played a totally different kind of football.
He was very young man. I don't think he was influenced by the Beatles at all. I'll tell you a lovely story. Him and I arrived in Hong Kong one night. We just arrived, and the phones never stopped ringing. So I'm blocking all the calls, as you can imagine. I get this call, this guy says, George, please. I said, can I say who's calling you? Just get me on the phone, will you? I said, well, not until you tell me who you are. He said, it's Richard Starkey. So I said, George, there's a guy, Richard Starkey, says he knows you. He says, Bill, that's Ringo Starr.
Wow.
Yeah, and they just arrived. They just come into Hong Kong from Australia. And him and his wife took George and I out to dinner that night. So that was my introduction to one of the Beatles.
One of the Beatles, yeah. And you met everybody, really.
Mostly, I Mainly, I would say through George and through association with George, because everybody loved them, film stars, Parky, Michael Parkinson, Billy Connolly, all these guys just love them and love to be seen in his company.
Now, you're my agent, and I declare an interest here, and you and I have spent many wonderful years as well in the company of the great and the good.
Yes.
And you've introduced me to that high-flying world.
Yes.
And what struck me is that there's very, very little blowharding in that world.
Yes, that's true.
Everybody sits down and they maybe have a wee chat about how the missus is. And I think what the only concern that the big stars have is that they're secure in your company.
Yes.
What they say stays within that circle.
There's got to be a certain element of trust in the first place, because too many times they get exposed to people who tell stories and things like that. So, yeah, you have to win their trust in the first instance. But once you've done that, it's great. But all the people I've met from whatever background, successful people, to me, they've always been very humble in themselves. So you couldn't meet a more humble guy than George Best. And yet he knew about his talents, he knew about his ability, he knew about the effect he had on women and men, I have to suggest. But
did that upset him in some way? I mean, I worked in theatre in the early days, and there were one or two good-looking guys, and one of them was in floods of tears one night because women wouldn't leave him alone.
Well, that was true with George. I mean, wherever he went, there were always a trail of women on the phone writing letters and, outside the house. He lived with me in Errington for 2 years, and numerous occasions we'd go out in the morning, at night, and there'd be women just waiting in the bushes to speak to him the whole time.
Are you sure they weren't waiting to speak to you?
It was unreal. It really was unreal. But he just had that effect. I mean, and everyone, even guys, used to say, "Oh, my wife loves George Best, and can she get a photograph taken and all this?" And they seemed to think it was great that their wife really fancied him.
And never any kind of, were you looking at my missus?
Oh, we've got a few of that, yeah.
It's very tempting, isn't it, to say, looking at your missus, not that bad,
Yes, he was accused of all different things at different times, but crazy.
And was it sometimes, I mean, the pressure on you at times must have been quite immense when every newspaper and every television and radio company were chasing stories about George.
Well, this is it. I mean, most of the time, my job was twofold. And on one aspect, I was trying to get him into the papers for all the right reasons. And in the second situation, I tried to keep him out of the papers because there were so many things happening. And of course, the other thing, once the story started, it just grew legs. And it was just amazing.
And did you have journalists saying, "We believe also this has happened"? Did you like, "Oh no, come on"?
Always tried to not tell lies, right? Because that comes back and bites you a bum, as you can imagine. But it's a very, very difficult route to travel. You're trying to keep George happy on the one side and all the press and the media on the other side.
To what extent is it important for somebody when they are famous through their talent to be there to do all the public relations side of things as well? Because there must have been occasions when you said, "George, we've been invited to go on BBC television tonight," and he was thinking, "Well, I don't want to do that. I'd rather have a wee drink with my friends, if you don't mind."
Tell you an absolute story. A good friend of his, a guy called Jack Trickett, has a hotel in Stockport. And he said to me one night, he said, "Look, I want to do a testimonial dinner for George." This was around about 1984. We'll do everything. The Man United, the whole football team will be there, etc., etc. 600 people. Is it okay? And I spoke to George about it. I thought, this is tremendous, tremendous. So him and I are in the flat in London on the day of the dinner. And I spoke to Jack Trickett in the afternoon. And he said, "I'll see you at 6 o'clock. I said, "Okay." So George and I left 3 o'clock, going into a wine bar that we had in London at the time. And he said to me, "I'm going to get my hair cut." I said, "Well, I'll come with you." He went, "No." He says, "Give me 10 minutes, then come round." I went round, he'd gone. Done a runner. Now, the guy at Jack Trickett had said to me, "If George comes tonight, think about it, in 1984, we will give him £100,000 testimonial." Right, in his hand, £100,000. So George knew this. And I eventually caught with him about half an hour after it. And he said, "I'm not going." I said, "What do you mean you're not going?" He said, "I'm not going. I don't want to go to Manchester." I said, George, is a minimum of £100,000. He said, Bob, what don't you understand? I don't want to go. I said, well, what's the problem? I said, because we're going by train, should we be flying or should we get a limo? He went, no, well, I just don't want to go. I said, you're going to let down all these people, 600 people paid good money, etc., etc., and I just couldn't budge him. Nothing I could say or do would convince him that he should have been in Manchester that night.
Did he get tired of it at times? Was he getting weary of all the...
Yes, he did, because it was constant.
Yeah.
Constant. I mean, he couldn't walk down the street.
24/7 really, isn't it?
Every time he walked down the street, he'd stop for autographs and photos and the whole bit, you know. And
You I've noticed that. I don't walk down the street with you now. It takes hours. Hello, Bill. Who are you signing the day? And all that. Bill McMurdo is wonderful. You've just joined us, folks, and you wonder what else going on Scotland's top radio station. It's Scottie McClue in the Scottie McClue interview, Scottie McClue special. I've got my guest in the studio this morning is none other than Bill McMurdo, who modestly is Europe's top football agent, but in actual fact, I would say is the world's top football agent. So we're going to be taking some calls. Bill's with us for about another 40 minutes.
So there we go, guys. That was that. We'll stop it there because it goes on for quite a while. It's a wonderful, wonderful interview. You'll get it. Scottie McClue talks to Bill McMurdo, and it's an absolute radio classic. So there you are. You'll get it on the YouTube channel here. I hope you enjoyed that. I'm now going to go back and get your comments. Thanks for bearing with us. Here we go. Do you still get the squeeze box out and blast out the Lassabon chord? Loved it, says Alistair Campbell. Alistair, I'll do a tune for you tonight. Jack's my late father, says Susan. Yep, hello. There's our friend from Texas. Happy Father's Day, Dad Melvin. R.I.P. says Glenn. A swan in flight. Scotty, what clip are you playing? Well, Bill McMurdo, I'm new to the channel. I'm honoured by you. Thank you so much. Lovely to have you with us. Was it Airplane, the movie, Scotty? No, I don't know if it landed in Airplane, but it's another one. It's the same one where the wee boy goes, Yahoo! In it. And I told you some of the actors that are in it. So there we are. She's level and strong, says Grady Beckel. Absolutely. I'm wondering about the banking and with the Queen, do you know about the origins of the banking system a bit more? The banking system very much originated in Scotland, Grady. So it's very much a Scottish thing. And of course, you would start with bills of exchange, which is an unconditional order in writing drawn on one person made payable to another, either on demand or at some determinable time in the future. And a check, of course, is an unconditional order in writing drawn on a banker and made payable to an individual or collectively on demand or at some time in the future. So the origin would be a bill of exchange, a sort of, I owe you, but take this and you will get the money. And now, of course, with the banks, we have promissory notes. So the banking system very much grew up out of Scotland. Josh, what's Corona like in Texas? Or is it worse in your cities up north? Ask Kareem. Some films will be shot on islands such as New Zealand and others. Yep, both, says Grady. Coronavirus, I think, is a man-made biological Chinese or American war, I think, says our friend from Texas. I think Kareem means how is Corona affecting living in Texas, like closures of quarantines, says Grady. Or Josh, says Grady. As people are calling to Jesus, but Jesus, I think, does not want infection from us and descend now. Well, if Jesus is a spirit and descends to live among us in his risen power, perhaps he may be immune to coronavirus. Okay, Josh, thank you. I'm sure Jesus will be there for you, says Kareem. Well, now that you say please, lol, says. Well, now that you say please, lol, Grady says. There we are, just coming back to you guys. So there we are, Grady Beckel. Don't know about that one. Take that one out just now. Jesus thinks that the earth is like Babadju loves destruction. That's terrible drivel, says Grady. The man is gold yet again, says Grady Beckle. Did you like that? So there we are. Andrew Rice, remember me from home in East Kilbride. Yes, Andrew Rice, lovely to have you with us. Alcoholism, such a bad disease, says John Jones. Absolutely, an addiction. It's an ugly thing, says Grady. I like to celebrate 2 years at AA by drinking a wee cheeky whiskey, says Yebby. Yebby, never ever touch it again. There we are. You're always alcoholic, remember. Congrats, keep fighting. Brilliant mind, says Grady. Thank you. After this pandemic is gone, we'll go on a pub crawl in Liverpool, says Yebby. Grady Beckle says, yeah, you've got the brain cells to spare. Thank God we got a taste of Gaza at Rangers before the alcohol got him, says John Jones. A man has to realise, Jacques, proclaim Ulysses is innocence, says Grady. Ulysses, fantastic. Ulysses and the bag of wins, is that right? Congratulations in advance to Liverpool to the title. Musala, says our friend from Texas. Also, I'm here now, says a good pizza. Let's try this again, Scotty. Tell him to tell her, to tell him to tell 10. Good one. Thank you very much, Scotty. You conducted that interview very well, Lol, straight away when he was against independence. I thought, why? Scotland is strong, smart, and rich. Enough with a strong monarchy. Yes, but you see, everybody's entitled to their opinions, and my interviews, there's no preparation done. So all of that straight off the top of the head. That's why there's a tiny bit of umming and erring. But I think the umming and erring is a fair price to pay to actually get down to the bones of the interviewee. So there we are, from the interviewer. So that's where my interviews seem to, meet with a degree of success. Nothing to do with me, just the fact I've got such good subjects and we tend to ask the right questions, because you need to put anybody, Bill's a very seasoned broadcaster and he's used to being interviewed with all the top interviewers in the world, because wherever he went with his players, whatever country they were in, he would be on television or radio in that country or in the newspapers in that country. So, he's very experienced, but you have to put them at their ease. Yes, Scotland's strong, smart and rich with a strong monarchy. But remember that interview was maybe 10, 12 years ago, Kareem? 12 years maybe now. So different day. Agreed, thought beans beat canned food, says Grady Beckle. I wouldn't trade it for 2 bags of wins, says Grady. Who's the most famous person in your mind did you interview? I think David Heyman, the actor, is another great interview. We'll maybe hear an interview with David some night if you stand a clip. I had to cut the clip short with Bill because there was about another 25 minutes of it. Why are toilets so loud to flush in planes? Well, I think anything's loud. You see, a plane will be designed, the interiors will be designed so they're as light as possible, because planes depend on cutting down weight all the time. And therefore the walls will be thin. You see, so it'll just be maybe very, very thin plywood or sort of a formica type thing or something like that. And that's why it's loud, So there we are. Interviewing's a great skill. You'd be a good interviewer for someone going for a job, Scotty. Put them at ease. Thank you, Robert. That's a very kind thing of you to say, because one never knows. Because obviously there's heightened when you are actually broadcasting. You're on the radio. Everybody's listening. So you don't want to make a mess of the interview. So you could both be very tense, but I think you've got to just put the person at their ease. That's the whole thing about it. Don't hold your ear close to the cloth, says Grady. Absolutely, yes. You don't want to be going, I'll just lean back and hear whoever's in there, see if there's somebody in. So there we are. Scottie, thank you for tonight. I'll say good night. Dinky-doo, everyone. Speak tomorrow night. Have a good, safe Monday. Kareem, did you like the clip tonight? Did you like hearing Bill? I know that your politics won't necessarily be his politics, but that doesn't matter. You see, we must be able to see everyone's point of view. So there we go. And I mean, I had a friend who was a journalist on one of the big papers in Belfast, and perhaps maybe in the morning he would be meeting the head of the army. And then in the afternoon he would be meeting the head of the opposition, you know, that sort of thing. And I mean, these guys got, you know, they had to hide where they were taking them, so they had to get in the boot of an old car and things like that to be able to do the interview, and there had to be an element of trust. Wonderful stuff. Scottie, very professionally done and well done. Yes, it was good. I look forward to more. Kareem, we've got some great stuff for you. Some I have to cut short because I think maybe 20 minutes is probably max for a clip live on the program, that sort of thing. Have a lovely, lovely night, Kareem. Take care of your dear self and enjoy tomorrow. So there we are. Excellent stuff. Now, I'm just looking at the time. We haven't long to go. I promised Alistair Campbell I'd give you a tune on the box. Bill McMurdo clip was all about George Best. Yes, what a relief, because everybody wanted to hear about George Best. Here's wonderful Mark McDonald. Hi, Scottie. How are you? Very well, Mark. Lovely to have you with us. And Dinky-doo, welcome. Guys, can you tell me how everybody is finding this broadcast? When I mean finding, I don't mean what do you think of the actual broadcast or podcast. How do you find where I am? Can you tell me? And I'll get the squeeze box for Alistair. Give you a tune. Now, there's the wee squeeze box, okay? All right. So there we are. So I'll give you a wee tune on here. What a show, Scottie, to start the week. Andrew Downey, lovely to have you with us. Thank you for joining us. I'm just about to play the squeeze box. I get the YouTube notification, says Rebecca Buchanan. But Rebecca, you must have subscribed and tapped the bell. Can everybody subscribe, please? And tap the bell. Here we are. There you go, guys. Did you like that, Alistair? You seem to be able to recognize it, so it couldn't have been too bad. I always feel if somebody can recognize the tune, then it's not too bad. Yes, indeed, Jocko Hazeldean. She's over the border and a wall with Jocko Hazeldean. The lady wasn't seen. She's over the border and a wall with Jocko Hazeldean. There we are. It stopped somebody marrying somebody they didn't want to marry. Yes, the bride kissed the goblet, the knight picked it up, he quaffed off the wine and threw down the cup. Remember, young Lochin Var has come out of the west. I always feel Jocko Hazeldean's a kind of play on young Lochin Var. I'm back just in time for the box. Gordon Robertson, yes, the harmonics in that thing. Whoa. Did you like that? So cool, says Neil. Exceedingly good, says Terry Owings. I thank you, Terry, Very, very kind of you. Sorry I'm late back. Jack met an old girlfriend. Jerry Nicol. Tut, tut, tutty, tut. And did he do his stuff? It's looking good for the caravan mid-July, Scottie. Good one, Andrew. Excellent, because I'm sure you could do with a break. So there we are. And please send my fondest regards to the family. Scottie, do the Corona rap. So there you are. Well, Neil, I would need to look up my, for the Corona rap, I would need to look up my, my TikTok. I need to look up my TikTok and get it. I don't know if I can get it on here. Fantastic. And I'll give you the Corona rap. So there we are. A wee Phil and Ali effort on the harmonic there, Scottie. Thank you, Betterhead. You take care, Scottie. Yes, and you take great care of your dear self as well, you lovely people. Been a fantastic show tonight. Coronas and the beers. There's a good pizza. Click notify bell. So there we are. Jacob Buchanan, I thank you. And please, everybody, if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. I think it's very important. And if you can like the stream tonight, and thank you to those who have tapped the dollar bill and sent me pennies. Very, very kind. You don't have to do that. Do you play the Moothies, says Gordon Robertson? I do, Gordon, but my house got burgled when I was in Sheffield and I lost my Moothie. And I had a thing of my father's, which was a tiny Moothie. It was fantastic. More likes, guys. That's so kind of you. There we are. Is it true that Cinderella's glass slipper was a size 12? Well, the Watery Leaf, Gordon Robertson will remember this. When you used to go to the old Scottish pantomimes with Jack Mulroy and Ricky Fulton and Stanley Baxter, and of course Cinderella, all these stories were just a vehicle for these fabulous actors to lark about on stage and make their audience hoot with laughter. How old are you now, boomer? Says a good pizza. Well, I am a boomer. There we go. Do you know what a boomer is in Australia? It's a kangaroo. 6 white boomers dashing through the sand because Santa's sleigh gets drawn by boomers in the Christmas in Australia because it's roasting hot, you see? So there you are. There's a bit of chaff. Yes, her name used to be Bruce. Then she must be the fairy godmother. Katie Pickle. Fantastic. So anyway, they used to have these jokes, and I can always remember a couple of crackers for Cinderella. And one of the ugly sisters would say, she would come in all dressed up, you see, and she'd say, do you think I'll be safe going out dressed like this? And the other ugly sister would say, you'd be safe in the Maryhill barracks. And another one was once, do you think I'll get my foot into the glass slipper? You couldn't get your foot into the QE2. I loved all that. My phone's running out. I'll see you next time, sir. See you, Rebecca. Take care of yourself. Bless you. Been in trouble with Mrs. Mac. We'll be back tomorrow night. Good night. Tony, take care of yourself. Good night. Gordon Robertson's laughing at the old favourites. Do you remember these, Gordon? And, of course, delivered by the likes of Stanley Baxter or by Ricky and Jack. They were just crackers, you know. They were really, really, really funny. I remember some poor soul had a stroke once in a pantomime, and I got a message, could I ring the theatre? So I rang and I said, Scottie McClue here. I was, oh, Mr. McClue, thank you for coming back to us. And I said, yes. I said, I believe you've had a problem. And somebody said, yes, we have. And I said, what's the part? And she says, it's one of the ugly sisters. I said, oh, I'm halfway there. So that was it. But I believe the director went on, you had me at stroke, says there, Grady Beckle Dinky Doo. Yes, absolutely. So that was that. So otherwise, McClue would have stood in as an ugly sister. Because you can go on with the book. I mean, I can remember in the theatre an actor had a bug and he was ill. We had to send him off. So I had to go out. They had to bring the tabs in, bring the curtain down, the clute, and I had to go on and announce to the audience, because I was the theatre manager, what had happened. So I said, one of our actors is taken ill, and then the actors continued, and the director went on with the book. And one of the actors said, don't worry, we'll just muck about. Of course, muck about for a top actor is just deliver superb lines. And he was doing stuff. There was one point when a guy had to bring out presents, saying things like, I'll give you a photo of my mother. And the stage management would have had to stuff the guy. The guy would have had the stuff in his jacket. The director didn't know that, so the actor had stuffed his jacket with anything he could find. And he was standing there going, oh, what's this poor soul getting? And out came a pocket comb. And he went, oh, a pocket comb. Just what you've always wanted. So there we are, wonderful stuff. Right, guys, I've got to go. Good night, God bless, Dinky Doo, and ta-ra, lads.